This is a bit of a impromptu comparison. Somebody mentioned the biodynamic M400, and I think they were talking about this is a 600, something to do with the foam, and would it be like an M88? I didn't do that, but I'm pretty sure I just plugged a 400 in here because I was going to use it. I decided not to because it doesn't really stand up to these others. So let me be clear then. I was looking at these biodynamic mics that use Hostaphan. It's a diaphragm, a light diaphragm. But they mentioned a kind of mylar, which I don't know if that's difficult to get these days or something. I don't know. It seems to be, we'll see, a good material. And the Beyer biodynamic M88 uses Hostaphan, and the person was asking to compare the 400 to the M88. But I don't think there's much point really, because the 400 didn't use Hostaphan. It was a much less expensive mic than the M88, so I don't think there's any way. Well, I can tell already there's no way the M400 is going to sound like the M88, no matter what you do. But that led me on to wonder about the SE-V7 being a modern mic, because to see how it would compare. These are from the 80s, I believe. Yeah, so one would hope now, 40 years on, that things would be a lot better. And we already know the time. I like, compared this to the SM58, I like the V7. What I'm using here, I keep changing about, why not, is the Earthworks Ethos, but I've gone back to using the IconPro Grille. The reason for that being that the extra foam, I like the Ethos compared to the IconPro for my voice. The extra foam, which makes it much safer for podcasting, for what it's designed for, and for people who are perhaps from the public who are not used to using microphones, just so it's pretty bulletproof in terms of pops. But everything you put between your voice and the diaphragm makes a difference, and this IconPro Grille is clearer. So I might get some pops if I'm clumsy, but that doesn't particularly matter unless they're really terrible. I'll take them out later, but it doesn't really matter because it's not like I'm doing a broadcast where that's the end of it. And also I can afford to put it to one side, and I'm not going to be getting too excited and moving around the place. So hopefully it should be not an issue, but it's useful for me to have as much clarity as possible just for these comparisons. So let me have a look at my little sheet here. What does it say? Microphone name and what the manufacturer says. I can't remember. This is the M600, near the top of the range, I think. Hostaphan diaphragm. This is the SE-V7, we all know. This is a biodynamic M700, which I think the box I've got was about 83. Quite expensive. And when I did the extrapolation, comes out to about 300 or 400, I think, in modern, but I'm not so sure about that. Excuse me, I've got the remains of having been at school. Everybody's got everything. Anyway, physical size comparison. Well, may as well. Actually, pretty much the same. You can see there. And I'll do things pretty much this to one's either side, I think, in terms of the reviewing. Pretty much. So all of them slightly larger or longer mics, if you like, as in comparison to the SM58, but not all that noticeably. Frequency charts I haven't got. I can tell you that all of them have got a lift. This one more so. All of them have got proximity. This one more so. Let's use our ears and see. Each compared to the SV33. Well, I haven't got the SV33, but I've got the Ethos here. So let's begin, which is as close as you'll get. Here we are. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a £5 note. The owl and the pussycat went to sea in a beautiful pea-green boat. They took some honey and plenty of money, wrapped up in a £5 note. When I first used this one, I was a bit of I think. This one is a bit louder. Bring it down a bit. down a bit. Sounds very good through there to me. 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 Through there, through there, through there, through there, through there. Very good. Something had popped into my mind to say a little bit sluggish compared to this, but I could be making that up. Because this is, of course, a light diaphragm as well. Light diaphragm. Don't know about a V7. Maybe we'll be able to hear. Light diaphragm. I like light diaphragms for all that that easy stuff there. Just seems so easy. That easy stuff through there just seems so easy. Gonna bring the volume up a little bit. That easy stuff through there just seems so easy. Seems so easy. Seems so easy. Seems so easy. A little bit more of a push on this one, maybe. Anyway, that's enough of that one. Back to the Ethos. Now I'm back on the Ethos, onto the V7. Onto the V7, which I'm going to take up a bit as well. Onto the V7. Onto the V7. What do I notice immediately? It's nice. Yes. I notice a bit of that. Perhaps a little bit grainy up there. And I think the first thing I noticed, though, was not volume, but sort of... It's the first thing I think I noticed. 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 The first thing I think of a bit of that. Of course, this might be, it occurred to me when I was playing around, that it might be deliberate. Maybe they don't want too much of that if it's for a rock stage. All of these were for a rock stage, actually. But, you know, maybe they don't. Why would you not want? I don't know. Maybe they want to try and keep things a bit like that. I don't know. Anyway, so this is the I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that of course. Well, I'd say of course. In this, you haven't got underpinning. Little bit SM5080 as we know as I compare them, and a little bit something going on there. Is there a little bit shutting and something going on there, without the low end there. Anyway, back on the Ethos, moving on to the M700. If I can find it. Moving on to the M700. Moving on to the M700. Moving on to the M700. What I think I notice is there's a slight brooding. Moving on to the M700. 700. Not the 700, not the... Can you hear the S's in a different place? Not the 700, not the 700. This is the 700. This is... So I noticed before, it's very fine and very sweet. There's a very... something right at the top there, and then the... kind of underneath. There's that underneath, which is nice enough. Now this, I believe, now it could be my memory served me rightly, did I see this being used by the Eagles? Or was it the M500 ribbon? I'm starting to think it's the M500 ribbon. Whatever. I've seen this M700 on videos being used by bands like the Eagles in terms of their size. I don't mean physical size, but in terms of their notoriety. There we go. So that's them compared to the Ethos. Do I get irritated with... I think this gets a bit much for me. Maybe after a while. Let's go between them. Fistful of mics there, man, and I'm holding them all right at the minute. Bit awkward to... So, this is a M600. This is the M600, which seems pretty neutral to me. This is the M600. Let's get a bit closer. This is the M600. So it's got some proximity there. It's got some proximity there. This is the M600. A little bit of that. Quite gently done, I think. This is the SCV7. This is the SCV7. Is it a bit cardboardy? Cardboardy. This is the SCV7. This is the SCV7. SCV7. This is the SEV7. Moving on to the M700. This is the M700. This is the M700. This is the M700. Bring it closer. This is the M700. 700. Okay. And what I'm going to do now... Yeah. So, see if I can hold a tone. Sort of mid-range. Will that be something like that, maybe? Ooh, ooh, SE. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So on this one then, as we heard before, even on that tone, you can hear, because there's other components in the voice, obviously, there's still that at the top and a bit of thing underneath, and this one more neutral, back on the SE. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See? Ooh, sort of firmer, the SE, I think, a bit lower. Starting on the M700. Ooh, ooh. SE V7. Ooh, ooh. Between them. Ooh, ooh. 600. Ooh, ooh. 600 does very nicely to my mind. Go a bit lower still. Ooh, ah, ah. SE. Ah, ah, ah. You can hear what happens there. Of course, it hasn't got the low end and the slight lift at the top, and it just gives me that. That'll be interesting to see what happens on the 700 then. SE coming up. 600 coming up. Let's look at the top end. 600 whilst I'm on it. Oh. Top end. SE coming up. Let's stop there just for a bit. Now, seems a bit grainier to me. Let's just go between these two. As far as I can tell, that's very natural. I'm going to go to the Ethos. Ethos has got that top, the very high bit there, but there's a bit of a. If I change it, there's more of this underneath it. Going to go back to where I was with my mouth. Very good. Onto the SE. I'm making sure it's not breath noise. It's kind of that raggedness. Making sure it's not. So it could be a bit of that. I was going to say I'm on the SC. The 600 is more delicate to my mind. Of course, that could be deliberate. Maybe they don't want delicacy for rock, perhaps. Don't know. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. So keep them in the right order as well. So this is a V7 at the top again. Moving on to the 700. I'm going to try and get higher still. Again, I think more delicate, more just a slight feeling of Not a big deal, but just subtle, just enough to make me feel warmer, really. Let's go through polar pattern. This is on the front, this is on the front, coming around to the side, 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 tight rejection there. And then if I move around to the back there, a slight bit of, so I think this is hypercardioid. There we go, round to the front, and quite generous around that area there. SEV7, SEV7, SEV7. Yeah, it's a bit more shut in, isn't it? Round to the side, round to the side. Woof, tight rejection there, very tight, very tight. Coming round to the back, coming round to the back, coming round to the back, and a bit of leakage, but not much. Leakage there at the back, well controlled. Around the side, very tight there. Around the side, very tight. Coming on, and reasonably benign in terms of the changes off axis. Biodynamic M700. Coming round to the side, 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 coming round. Tight rejection there. Yeah, very good as well. Tight rejection coming round to the back. A bit more leakage than the V7. Coming round to the side, coming round to the side. Handling noise, where you can hear that already. Generally speaking, not biodynamic of this era's strong point. But it's not too bad. Don't fiddle with it too much. V7. Congratulations. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. Yeah, very good. M600. M600. There we go again. I will do pops just briefly, and then I'll have a play. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. This is a 600. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Peter Piper picked a peck. Not bad. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you... Say something about that in a minute if I remember. Who do you think you're fooling? Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? Who do you think you're fooling? This one, the M700's got foam. This one, the 600, I think is old school Beyer, which means there's some kind of a mesh type things that they have going on in there, which I suspect is more expensive to do and more time consuming rather than just sticking some foam in. That's about it. Can you get them? 600, oh yeah, 600, good luck. I don't know if they didn't last long or what happened, but then very few of them seem to be about. M700, which I'm on now, there seem to be quite a few of them. So I'm just going to go through, do my thing with a bit of verb. What should we say? What are we doing? We got something? Okay. 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 Okay, chuck, 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 chuck, okay, chuck, okay, chuck, okay, chuck, okay, chuck, chuck, okay, chuck. Sorry about the pitching. Chuck, okay. That one's a bit louder, isn't it? From these two then. Okay, chuck, 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 okay, 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 okay. Now, what would that be? Could be the channel. Seems to me that there's more reverb, but I've got a suspicion. Okay, chuck, okay, K, 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 K. So, what I'm thinking is, It's not that there's more reverb, it's that there's more bass on this, and I'm suspecting that the reverb on this desk doesn't reverberate the bass. I'm on the right, yes, no I'm not, doesn't reverberate the bass. That's what I'm suspecting. So let's see if we can isolate that just for a bit, just for my, bear with me, just for my own information in future. I'm on the, yeah. I think that's the case. So when I do that, you don't really hear any reverb on the low end. You hear the upper bit in the reverb, which is, to save things getting completely muddy, I suppose. That's what I've done that. And so with this microphone, in the overall mix then, we're all up in nearer to the reverb thing, and the actual unreverberated low end isn't there. So you hear more of that area of the reverb. This is making sense. Whereas this one, the unreverb or reverberated low end is there in the mix, in the sound as well. So it counterbalances, it doesn't leave so exposed, that part. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, I can hear it. So yes, here's my what I think I hear. This is a good mic. Very, very good mic. Why do you stop making it? I don't know. Too expensive or what? Nice. Not as low as the M88 and the SV40. Low enough, just for me. And it sounds from there pretty flat, a bit of a rise at the top, but everything very sweet and fast as well. I've got to do that only because I'm in the mood. That's what I feel from the M600. What I feel from the SEV7 is, yeah, just more shut in. Not as fast, not as light a diaphragm. I'm a light diaphragm man. That's what I tell people these days. They look at me like, what? So it's, yeah, I like that once you've had it. You know what I'm saying? Once you've had it, yeah. Once you can move a bit closer if you want to and get a little bit of that going on. Yeah. And just when you breathe in, feels like you're outside. Feels like there's a breeze. When you breathe in, you're just out there in the garden back there. I go in the garden and do my exercises and I love it. I love the air and the light. It's only small, but what do I need? When I'm on this one, it's like they've drawn the curtain and shut the door just a bit. I'm not criticizing it because I like it, but it's just like a little bit like that, isn't it? Did we do this one? No, because I was at the Ethos before. But what about this one? This one hasn't got as much. The door's not quite as wide open as this one. The curtains aren't drawn quite as much, but it gives me enough of a hint that freedom is there. Freedom is there, even if I haven't quite got it yet. What about this one? This one, yeah. This one is a little bit... what's going on? A little bit odd because there's that right at the top there. And a little bit of that going on there, but nonetheless, so my freedom's a little bit distorted, but I don't mind it. But it's still there, so that's why things going on. I've lost the plot now. What am I talking about? Oh, was I going to do that? I think I was, yeah. Sorry. Finish off. See if we can hear any difference in this. I'm going to mute things because I've got to do this acrobatics business. I'll just go through in this order then. Just a bit more shut in. A bit solider, a bit more solider. V7. Yeah, I think so. That light diaphragm, if that's what it is, I believe it is. That openness, that's for me. may not be for you. That's it really. See you next time.